I can still feel the chill that ran down my spine that night, the night that forever etched a tale of terror into my memory. It was midnight, and I was driving down a desolate country road, surrounded by an eerie silence. The darkness seemed to engulf everything, leaving only the narrow beams of my headlights to pierce through the obscurity. I had heard whispers of strange occurrences along this road, stories told in hushed tones by those who dared to pass through here after the sun dipped below the horizon. Yet, I paid no heed to those tales, dismissing them as mere urban legends, meant to spook the easily frightened. That was until I saw her. In the distance, a figure materialized in the glow of my headlights. A woman, standing alone in the middle of the road, her nightgown a stark white against the black backdrop of the night. I slammed on my brakes, my heart pounding wildly in my chest. Why would someone be out here at this time of night? Fear clawed at the edges of my mind, urging me to reverse and speed away, but a strange compulsion held me in place. She just stood there, unmoving, like a statue carved out of bone. I peered through the windshield, my breath catching in my throat as I watched her. Her nightgown waved slowly in the wind. The wind whistled at my window. The grass slowly swayed beyond my headlights, but she did not move. Swallowing my fear, I stepped out of the safety of my car, my footsteps echoing in the emptiness. "Ma'am, are you all right?" I called out, my voice wavering. No response. Her gaze was fixed on something beyond, something I couldn't fathom. Gathering my courage, I reached out and gently tapped her on the shoulder, my fingers trembling. She turned, her movements slow and deliberate, and then the terror that gripped my heart intensified tenfold. There was no face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just an endless void of darkness where her features should have been. I stumbled back. A scream caught in my throat, unable to tear my eyes away from the abyss that was her face. A sound, a guttural whisper that seemed to emanate from the void itself, surrounded me. Paralyzed by fear, I watched as her featureless form reached out a hand, fingers elongated like twisted tendrils of shadow. The world around me spun, reality itself warping as her hand drew closer. And then, darkness. I blinked, disoriented and confused. I was back in my car, the engine humming softly. My heart raced as I looked around, the memory of the faceless woman burning in my mind. My hands trembled as I glanced down at my clothes, and horror gripped me anew. The back of my clothes were caked in dirt, as though I had been dragged through the earth itself. The taste of fear still lingered on my tongue as I tried to make sense of what had just happened. Had it been a nightmare? A hallucination brought on by exhaustion? I peeled out of that accursed road, the image of the woman's void-like face seared into my thoughts. To this day, I can't explain what transpired on that night. The encounter defied reason and sanity, leaving me with only the haunting memory of that faceless woman and the unshakable feeling that I had brushed against something otherworldly and malevolent